My dudes, what's going on? Have you ever wondered what each class does at a job and what would be the best for a 10-man setup for your account? Well, this is the video for it. Anyways, let's get into it. IdleOn is actually a huge positive when it comes to classes and multiple characters, and is what the game really thrives at, using the AFK mechanic up to 10 characters to get account bonuses to juice it up. It's more of a team comp rather than mains or alts, and this is more of a condensed version. This is something to tie you over until I actually make class guides. First off is the Divine Knight. This class is a fantastic active class and has really important jobs such as crystal farming for statues and other rare drops thanks to his ability known as Orb of Remembrance that gives you drop rate per kill while the orb is active. The orb has fake drop rate. Let me explain. Basically, orb doesn't give you more drop rate, it gives you more kills to roll loot. For example, if you have an orb active and it reaches 100 kills, that means for every kill you would get 2 kills, 3 at 200, 4 at 300. Think of the numbers as percent. So if you had 90 on the orb, you start off with 1 base kill, and then 90 would be a 90% chance for it to equal to 2 kills. That's what also makes Divine Knight really good for farming mini bosses, because you can stack your orb to 400 kills before summoning Diplodade Slush, so 1 Diplodade Slush would actually be worth 5 slushes. Also works for other mini bosses and also Colosseum as well. For skilling is going to be Refinery, Construction, Mining 3D Prints, and Gaming. Refinery is easier thanks to the talent known as Refinery Throttle that triggers refinery cycles. Construction, that is DK's bread and butter, gets insane build rate thanks to the talent known as Red Oak Rates, and gives build rate based off the power of 10 Red Oak Salts in your storage stack. On top of that, with Construction level and the orange alchemy bubble known as Carpenter that gives build rate speed per construction level, and also Warrior's Rule that multiplies this bonus. We are looking at billions of build rate. That is going to be 100% a skill you'll need to push heading into later game. DK's job is mostly active play for crystals, mini bosses, and Colosseum runs. Construction and mining 3D prints. Having 2 Divine Knights is strongly suggested for your 10 character setup because having a second DK will end up boosting your build rate by about 30 to 40%. Next up is Siegebreaker, which is a semi-decent active class, but only usually played actively is it to farm your 1 million plunderous mob kills to get that multiplicative drop rate bonus from the talent known as Arc Lord of the Pirates. Where Siegebreaker really shines for combat is farming bars for the forge thanks to smelting every day. That each kill gives you a % chance for instant forge progress. So basically what you can do once you're strong enough is park your archers at green mushrooms and wait 2 minutes in AFK time and swap back. And this will give you an hour worth of bars, since the hourly bar forging has a cap. So if you have 3 archers and you cycle 2-minute claims, you'll get insane bar progress in very little time. You don't have to do 2-minute claims, but this is just the power of Siegebreaker and archers in general. Siegebreaker is a little weaker when it comes to the skilling side of things. You do have special procs like Godly Creation to potentially give you more stats on your craftables and have super crazy production rate. Siegebreaker is also the only one that can get bugs at a decent rate, but unfortunately for 3D prints, that's where it's really lackluster. For instance, you can get about 20-ish million fly prints on Siegebreaker, but get a 1 billion copper ore print on a Divine Knight for basically the same setup, so particles are sparse with Siegebreaker. So Siegebreaker's job is to actively farm drop rate and AFK farm bars with 2 minutes or hourly claims. Also, second best at farming Death Note, 3D bug prints, and crafting equipment. Siegebreaker is another choice of making 2 of them, but at the cost of prints. My personal opinion is I would not suggest to make another one unless it's the 11th character. Elemental Sorcerer is up next and it's insanely overpowered. So strong that it's actually the biggest weakness is that it crashes the game consistently when strong enough. But what you get in return is the best monster material farmer in the game. Anything that is on the first page of the monster loot table is going to be best farmed with ES. Because of the talent known as Dimensional Wormhole, you could spawn the current map's monsters that will reward bonus XP and drop rate per kill, and if you could scale this up enough, the drops start showering down. You want a 5-star monster cards? Do it actively with Elemental Sorcerer. ES is a great progression boss killer since Lightning Barrage is one of the heaviest hitting spells in the game. Skilling is also incredibly solid with Worship, Divinity, and 3D printing logs. ES is the best source for farming souls, especially when you have a talent Soul Siphon. Also in Divinity, the only class that can be connected to 2 gods, makes them much more flexible in playstyle. Their Family Tree passive, which gives them extra points into their talent plus Family Guy, ES has the highest log prints in the game. Elemental Sorcerer's job is card and monster loot farming as an active farmer, and Death Note and G-Mush kills for money % for AFK kills, 3D log prints, and being the main source of souls. I would strongly suggest having 2 Elemental Sorcerers in your 10-man 10-man roster for the highest log print in the game, for atom particles, and faster soul charge. Next up is the bigger disappointment than I am to my father, the Beastmaster. When it comes to the Beastmaster, it is incredibly underwhelming due to the long cooldowns and the lack of really decent mob respawn talent. It does have the Archer talent Smelting every day, so that does really help for AFK. But when it comes to active, it can skip years worth in shiny farming. Thanks for the V-Man enhancement, but this can only be done active. Beastmaster and tower defense, they are one of the best thanks to the talents Vine and Kung Fu Kick for crowd control to keep mobs at bay so you can keep on pushing higher waves. In skilling, a Beastmaster's job is trapping. Sure, another character with super good production speed. Other than that, it's just trapping. Beastmaster's primary job is to push shiny time with breeding, farm bars through Gmush kills, pushing Death Note, setting high efficiency traps, and one of the main classes to push high tower defense with. I would strongly suggest not having more than one Beastmaster in your roster due to the Siegebreaker being better in every department and giving you no beneficial advantage. Next on the chopping block is Blood Berserker, another class that is struggling in later game combat department, again due to no respawn mechanic and long cooldowns. But that's not to say Blood Berserker is all bad, because of the three important things: Zhaos, Chows, and Super Chows. Zhao is 100,000 kills on a unique mob to get damage percent, Chow is cooking XP and efficiency for 1 million, and Super Chows, which is a V-Man enchantment that gives insane cooking speed for 100 million kills. So combat is incredibly important until you get this done. Where Blood Berserkers truly shine is in the skilling department. Not only is Barb the best fisher in the game, they are also just as proficient in mining as the Divine Knight, so you can have fishing and mining 3D prints to make things easier. But where it really becomes sane is one of the most important skills next to alchemy in terms of upgrades is cooking. Berserkers are the only class that can proficiently obtain ladles, not to mention help boost cooking speed and get new chances at meals. Long story short, Blood Berserker belongs in the kitchen. Blood Berserker's primary job is farming Zhaos, Chows, and Super Chows, AFK farming Death Note, fishing and mining 3D prints, and spending the next 15 years in the kitchen praying to be a good active class. I strongly suggest having 2 Blood Berserkers on your 10-man roster. The ladle production that you get from the 2 makes it literally 2 times faster. If there was ever a support class in IdleOn, it would 100% be the Voidwalker. Voidwalker in combat is really meh. Not only does it lack a mob respawn skill, they only have 3 damaging skills, not to mention one can only be used actively farming, and super lackluster damage. But when it comes to boss farming, Voidwalker is 100% way to go. Not only does Voidwalker have the highest drop rate and card drop rate in the game, it also has the ability known as Gimme Gimme that gives a chance to drop 2 times loot, which has the same fake drop rate as the Divine Knight's Orb, so 1 kill can equal 2. Now when I say Voidwalker is a support class, it's because of the last talent tree that benefits every character, not just the Voidwalker. From enhancements that I went over some of them, but even increasing base stats, damage, multi-kill, experience, even insane critter gains, statue effects, hell, even cooking speed. Also great for 3D prints with the talent known as Printer Goes Burr. For 3D prints, you actually want to go with monster prints for the V-Man because Void Trial rerun ability allows you to go into a speedrun but still take prints. And with Void Radius, that gives you insane multi-kill per tier, while in the Void and Bossing Vein that gives you a lot of mob respawn, you can get the highest monster prints in the game. V-Man is fantastic for pushing level 13 vials or even alchemy bubbles in general. When it comes to skilling, V-Man is the jack of all trades but doesn't do anything crazy. You're mostly doing it for the left and right hand buffs and building damage. V-Man's primary job is boss farming, supporting the other toons, and monster 3D prints. Also, early game, crystal and card farming. I would not suggest having more than one V-Man due to how much effort you have to put in compared to how much you get out. Last but certainly not least, we have the definition of death itself, the bubonic conjuror. The class in combat is an absolute powerhouse. It goes from really slow to my game runs at 10 FPS permanently. It's because its biggest weakness is that the bubo requires a lot of funding. By that I mean it needs a lot of gear and 200 plus talent levels in skills to perform. But once it does, it is the best active portal pusher and money farmer in the game by an insane margin. It's not even fair. This is because of the tentacle eye talent and the respawn dead ability. The synergy is by far the most disgusting thing in IdleOn. When it comes to raw combat, Bubo is the best hands down. Skilling is even more disgusting thanks to cranium cooking that gives you alchemy progress per kill for a set amount of time. This skips literal years worth of waiting for alchemy. Without Bubo, alchemy wouldn't be a fraction of what it is now. Not to mention unlocking new bubbles with bubble breakthrough. Bubo's primary job is actively pushing portals, farming money, log 3D prints, and pushing alchemy to insane heights. I would not suggest more than one Bubo on your roster due due to the bubo needing to be actively played to perform. Now I know some of you are going to be like, but Griffy, the classes do other stuff than you just listed. And of course they do, but this is more of a condensed guide to what to expect and what to gear them up for, or else we would be here for 45 minutes. What I would suggest for the 2 safest builds you could do would be 1 Beastmaster, 1 Siegebreaker, 2 Divine Knights, 2 Blood Berserkers, 2 Elemental Sorcerers, 1 Bubonic Conjurer, and 1 V-Man, or 1 Beastmaster, 2 Siegebreakers, 2 Divine Knights, 1 Blood Berserker, 2 Elemental Sorcerers, 1 Bubonic Conjurer, and 1 V-Man. There you go, my dudes. Elite class rundown. But anyways, I gotta get back to the guide grind. Stay tuned for the next IdleOn video. Stay safe, happy grinding, and peace out.